Geek Show.
He's joining us from the Geek Show, 2 3s rather than 2 E's. It is MsBehaviour joining us via Skype from Mohawk Studios today. G'day, Miss B.
Hello, how are you?
Very well, thank you very much. Very well indeed. You're about to relocate Mohawk Studios, I hear. There's a rumour going around.
Yes, there's a rumour going around, which is actually true, that we are moving to Wellington.
Ah, okay. But it doesn't matter where Mohawk Studios really is at all, really, does it?
Not at all. We're completely cloud-based now. We don't need very much space. It's just us, a couple of cats, and a few laptops, pretty much.
Easy, easy. Hey, well, before you hop on that plane, can you tell us about wearable electronics?
Yeah, sure. No, this is something I'm really interested in. And, of course, we've just had the World of Wearable Arts exhibition and award again down in Wellington, which is an annual show where some of the most amazing creations are made in the name of wearable art, so that intersection between art and clothing.
Yeah.
So that always amazes me, how creative. I mean, I always say to people, you see more ideas about fashion and form and creativity in one of those shows than you see in all of the Paris catwalk shows for 10 years. So, they show how you can put cloth, thread, and imagination to make these stunning creations. So what I'm really interested in is this new sort of movement coming through based around a very simple type of programmable electronics called Arduino.
Oh, okay.
It's open source. It's a prototyping platform, and you can add sensors, lights, motors, which run through a programmable microcontroller. So you can make interactive artworks and clothing. Now, it's perfect for people like artists or designers or hobbyists or anyone who's interested in making interactive art, whether it's to be worn or installed into public or private spaces.
Yeah.
So this is really exciting. So I'm going to start learning how to do this and when we move to Wellington, I plan to spend time at the Wellington Makerspace doing workshops on this. Because I already sew and enjoy making, my own clothing.
Because what I'm keen to find out is whether or not wearable electronics have moved on or developed further than, say, the iPod jackets, where you had the controls for an iPod embedded in the sleeves of the jackets.
That's right, and that actually is probably one of the first things that people can learn how to make is how to use pressure sensitive or motion sensors in your clothing to control Bluetooth devices. So that's one of the first things I'd say to people for that. Well, what can I do with it? Well, you could make a cushion that would control the wireless speakers in your room, or your jacket can, as soon as you walk in the house, you can turn the house system on or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's all sorts of things happening. I mean, there's some really great sites now where they have examples of what people are doing with these. So one of them is crunchwear.com, which I think comes from one of the TechCrunch sites, so it's intersection between geekery and fashion, and a really fun one called totalktomyshirt.com, which is really great experiences. And also, it has also reached high fashion. Now, I follow fashion as an art form, even though I think parts of the scene are completely ridiculous.
Yeah.
I was very interested by a show in 2007-2008 by a designer called Hossein Chalayan, which really quite inspired me. He was using very simple electronics, like we're talking about how that you can make yourself here. He did it at his fall-winter show that year. Had things like a video dress, which had pulsing LED lights in. It had a jacket with a hood. The hood would come up. And you imagine if that was sensor on rain, so as soon as your shoulders feel that there's spots of rain, your hood and jacket comes up. These are all the things which are not only out there to buy now, you can make them yourself. And I think this is the really exciting thing about these Arduino systems. And there's also a makerspace in Christchurch where you can learn about this. And also at the CoLab at AUT in Auckland, they're doing workshops. And of course, as with anything these days, there are so many videos online where you can just hop online, find out the basics, buy the basic kits online. They're very cheap and easy to go. I think I think the CoLab have done a workshop where it's about $100, but you get all the starter electronics at the same time. And, of course, if you want to expand further from these really basic systems, just think of all the things you can do if you start working with Pinocchio.com for laser cutting, 2D shapes, which you then put electronics into, and places like Shapeways with 3D printing. So really, it's just the limits of your imagination with a little bit of geekery, which anyone can learn. I mean, there's this basic stuff that if you did electronics at school, you would have remembered. It's probably even easier than that now.
Yeah, because I guess the crucial thing will be when this moves from, I mean, art is very cool, but moves from being art to real practical day-to-day uses.
And that's right. And where I think that's probably going to happen first is in home automation systems. Because we're moving to Wellington, we're doing the studio stuff at the moment, so we're going to be putting little things into, to sell it, like LED lights, which we can probably put onto a control system, and I'm sure Calvin's going to hack something like that into this house before we sell it.
No doubt. Oh, so that's very cool. Do you personally own any wearable electronic thing at the moment?
I don't, but you see, this is one of the reasons I want to move, is so that I'm around more people who are doing things like this in Wellington, because it's a fantastic geek community down there, and arts and culture, and all the many reasons why we're going there.
Yeah.
And space as well, space that you can play and work on these things. So I've got quite a few ideas that I've been having for some time, and I think this is the summer where I start to make them happen.
Yeah, very cool. And some of these electronics that you're talking about are basically available. Like Dick Smith Electronics, in the basic kits. Yeah, J-Car. Yeah, exactly. That's
exactly right. You see, these things, or you can go online and you can buy all the basic kits, starter kits.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I always say to people, especially friends with kids and my girlfriends, go in J-Car. They've got some really awesome stuff at the back there, like build your own robot starter kits and books about all of this. It's not expensive. The information is there, the equipment's there, and it's fun. Why don't you go out and build a robot with some of your kids at home and all learn together?
Yeah, because there was a lot of people complaining about these school holidays and how wet they were, and there was nothing to do. But this stuff is perfect, and not only for kids, but adults are entirely interested in this.
That's right. When I was in the UK growing up, there was a show called Why Don't You, which was a kids' TV show, kind of ironic. I loved it, and it was basically showing you all these things that you can do at home. And the song was like, why don't you switch off your TV set and go and do something less boring instead?
Yeah.
There's plenty of things to do, but with the internet, you've got the knowledge of how to do it and how to make it, and the inspiration. And you can also buy stuff online, and they turn up at your door. So rainy days. Doesn't matter, does it?
I also know over at the Geek Show, because we've talked about Make before and various other Make projects, and so there's a whole lot of links I know from a previous show that we've done where you can go get ideas for some of these things as well.
That's right. And also check out the MsBehaviour files over at thebigidea.co.nz, because I'm going to be putting the show notes up for this one and this podcast, hopefully. So hello to all the Big Idea community if you're watching this all over the world. So I'll also be popping all of that up there in my MsBehaviour files section. Excellent.
All those links, as I say, thebigidea.co.nz, thegeekshow.com, 2 3s rather than 2 E's. Go and check them all out. Ms. B, off you go on that plane, and we'll catch you again soon.
Definitely. Look forward to it.
Time now is